That is the boldest thing I've heard. Wow.
AFC South title and wins MVP.
Dude, I can't take you seriously.
Really?
502 games.
No way.
No way. I could have ran for 100 yards this next day.
I stopped listening halfway through because that's such a bad take.
Yo. Welcome back, everybody. It is time for another week of Neutral Zone Reaction. My name is Jules Bergman.
I'm Brady Hannon. Let's go. Let's get into it.
Let's run it. We had some awesome football this week. I can't wait to talk about it. Thank you again to Culver's for sponsoring this episode. And I want to start off right now with the guy in the back of the screen and that team and that division. Let's talk AFC North because
I do not understand this division at all.
Who knows what's going on over there? What's your first take on how it's all shaping up out there? Every team looks good.
The biggest thing for me is that the Bengals are at the bottom. Nobody expected that. Bengals were highly regarded as a top 2-3 team in the AFC. Joe Burrow, top 2 quarterback, and they're 500. They have a negative 27-point differential. It's bad.
Well, a lot of that point differential just comes from that one Titans game. So I wouldn't look too much into that statistic specifically.
Okay, fair, but
the Steelers' point differential has to be worse, no?
What?
I would feel like the Steelers' point differential is just as bad. They had those two big losses.
It's minus 24, yeah, and they're 4-2.
Yeah.
the Steelers making. There's a few teams in the league. We went over this with like the Bills last week. The Steelers also make 0 sense. They don't score on offense the whole entire game. Their defense has no business being as good as it is. And then they win these low-scoring games by like the slightest margins every week.
Well, they did do one thing. You know what? As confusing as the Steelers might be, I'm going to say right now, no, I'm not coming out with some crazy playoff take like the Dolphins, the Super Bowl last week. But I am seriously not going to doubt Mike Tomlin. I know we keep talking Matt Canada this and all that. They find ways to win games. And you know what? My biggest takeaway from this past week was what is that?
What is that?
Is that Cooper Kupp was basically eliminated from that football game.
I mean, that's coaching though. That's what Tomlin does.
I'm talking about Mike Tomlin. Like yeah. I don't.
The Steelers don't lose games. The Steelers. They play smart. They don't lose games. They're in every game. Well, most games. They just don't make dumb mistakes. Like you think of all the stupid stuff the Bears do and all these low-level franchises. The Steelers just never do those things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Puka went off, of course, because someone on the Rams was bound to. But I think that they were okay with that. I think they were like, you know what, we can give them that. But the Rams are going to want to run the offense through Cooper Kupp. And they said no. And obviously there's no what's his name? Their new running back.
Who?
It's slipping my mind. The Rams running back who got injured.
Daryl Hunter. Oh,
Kyron Williams. They have no Kyron Williams and they had no Ronnie Rivers. So they had to roll with Darrell Henderson, who's been fine in the past. But still, I think the Steelers game planned so well for that game, and that's the sole reason they won. Look over across the board, like you wouldn't have picked TJ Watt to get an interception. You would have had him to get 2 or 3 sacks to win the game. But they're doing things that they got to do to win. And every week I feel like we come on this show and we're like, how on earth did the Steelers win that game?
Wait, can you hear me all right?
You're a little quiet.
It's every week. It's the same thing every week. Like, remember that Ravens game a couple weeks ago? We both and then it was like 8-10, like the whole entire game, and all of a sudden they just pulled out at the end.
Yeah, when Pickett
every game. No, every play the Steelers run, I swear half the plays they run is like a back shoulder fade to Pickett. And Kenny Pickett like shotguns it in there.
To George Pickens, yeah.
Pickens, that's what I said. That's what I meant to say.
It's like how the Bears finally figured out, like, if you throw to DJ Moore, he'll move the ball down the field. The Steelers' whole offense do the same thing every play. Throw the ball to Pickens.
Yeah, but they run it half the time.
and they don't run it well. I mean, Najee found
No,
the end zone
they
and
complete
Jalen
it
Warren
like
found the end
twice
zone.
a game, and it's always for a touchdown, so it looks good. And Matt Canada's got to be the luckiest employee in America. I swear. He is so bad. He's so bad.
Yeah, I mean,
Like their offense is like the only difference between the Steelers' offense and watching paint dry is paint actually dries. The Steelers' offense just doesn't do anything. I mean, they're so
well,
bad.
I mean, that's a lot to say about a team that's 4-2. I kept talking all these
How are they
weeks.
4-2? They're 24 points down.
Yeah, they're
the
4-2. They've only lost to the Niners 30-6 or 30-7, and they lost to the Texans 30-6. And
Did you know the Steelers have only okay. So
they've
you know how
beaten
we
the
regard the
Raiders, the
Patriots?
Browns, the Ravens, and the Rams now. 3 teams starting with R.
Oh my god, the Giants are so bad. I'm looking at points. Okay. The Steelers are bottom 3 in the league in points scored.
Yeah.
Sorry, bottom 4.
Remind
It's
you of
unbelievable.
anyone?
That's 4-2.
Remind you of some specific teams? The
Yeah,
2018
Steelers.
Bears, carried by our
really.
Super Bowl level defense.
They scored 2 more. They scored 2 more points than the Patriots have this season, who are widely regarded as the worst offense.
Oh yeah. Whoa. Any team I'm seeing in the comments, any team that
Any
loses
team
to the Texans is poverty. The
Texans is
Texans are
poverty.
good this year.
The Texans are good.
The
What are
Texans are
They're
well
3-3.
coached also.
The Texans are well coached. They're sitting pretty above the Colts. The Texans are not bad.
Well,
I don't know what that comment was.
sidetrack from the North for a sec. I have
Yeah.
one like number 1 pick of the week right now, and we know both of our track records. We'll get into that in This Week in Vegas.
Oh,
But
God.
I was looking at who's playing each other and everything, and
The Colts are not better.
the
I don't
Texans
know what
play the
Jets are.
Panthers this week. That means Will Anderson is going to get to pass rush Bryce Young like for real for the first time.
Oh, that's
Obviously,
wild.
they'd
He's
have to
also
take it
triple his
easy in
size, too.
practice. I think Will Anderson to get a sack this week is an absolute lockopotamus. He's going to be like, yeah, I finally
game's a
can try and
3-point
sack
spread. That
this
feels
dude
like-
who I've been teammates with for all these years. You just know it's going to happen.
No. The spread's 3. That feels like a crime. to make
Well,
the
because
only
Panthers are
3-point
bound to
underdogs.
win eventually. I don't think it's a crime.
Eventually, but I just don't, how can you bet on the Panthers to win? The Panthers are terrible.
The Panthers have some pieces, you know?
Like what pieces? They have Brian Burns. What other pieces do they have?
Thielen's been playing really well.
Oh my
I
God.
mean,
Thielen's
he
like
gets
32.
11 for
Thielen's not gonna carry
136
the
like every
offense.
game.
Philly shit Miles Sanders out of town. I'm pretty sure Jeremy Chin is hurt. I couldn't name another player.
Jeremy Chin is hurt.
JC
Yeah,
Horn
but
is hurt.
Bryce
They
Young
have
is-
no one else.
Bryce Young is a playmaker. He's going to make plays.
He's a rookie. He's overwhelmed. I don't know if he's overwhelmed, but he's just, I don't know. Bryce Young hasn't been clicking for me.
Yeah.
They just don't. They don't score points.
We'll get into the Bills.
I don't know.
Bucks
The
line
Panthers, they're just
a
not
little bit.
good.
Yeah, they I don't know. I think the Texans should beat them, but I don't think the line is out of the +3. I mean, Panthers, Bryce
I don't
Young is
know.
going to have to win a game eventually, you would think. But anyway, I want to go
You would
back to AFC
think.
North real quick because let's talk about the Browns and the Ravens also. The Ravens
The Ravens are good.
annihilated Detroit out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
that came out of nowhere.
And as we've said a
know.
few times,
The
Ravens,
Ravens
are
finally
super
catch passes
unpredictable.
and they're good. The Ravens have always been good. I've been saying Lamar's been good this whole time. You kind of ignore it, but Lamar's really good. He's figuring it out. The Browns, I don't know how to read the Browns.
Well, the Browns should have lost. The Browns got bailed out
Browns-
2
The
times.
Browns
on
did
the
get
last
bailed
drive
out.
by
And they
the
barely
refs.
beat the Colts too, so you can't take much from that.
Well,
But at the
the
same
Browns,
time, that was with PJ Walker.
I know
That's not a high quality quarterback play there.
that's true, but they also haven't
They
played well with Deshaun. I mean, Deshaun was 1 for 5 before he might have had an interception too. I don't even remember.
Yeah, fair. Deshaun has been bad, like pretty bad.
Deshaun's been awful.
Yeah.
But the Browns, you were really high on their defense last week, and we talked
the
about their
Browns' defense
defense.
is fantastic.
And then they let up 38 points to the Colts.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but besides that, they've been fantastic. The Ravens' defense has also been fantastic.
Yeah, the
Holy
Ravens have
crap.
had the best statistical defense in the league. Lamar in the MVP race. I don't know. What do you think, Brady? You're Mr. Lamar MVP every year. I think we both took.
Lamar's
didn't we both
100%
take
in the
him?
AFC. I don't remember. Lamar's 100% in the MVP race. He's in arguably the toughest division in football. He's winning that division. They are, I don't know, they're probably top 5 in points scored. I have to look. They're probably top 10 in points scored. His receivers have been terrible this year. He's carried the offense. He's carried the entire team. Lamar's 100% in the MVP race. Because if you take Lamar off the Ravens right now, they're 2-5. If you take Lamar off the Ravens, they're not winning these games. They're 2-5. They're not 5-2.
Well,
I mean, I'm serious. Lamar is that good. Lamar is that guy. He is that guy.
Okay, well, on the other side of the ball, are you shocked with the Lions, or you think they'll recover, or is this like a statement game? Are the Lions fraud? I was gonna address it a little bit, but like Lions and Dolphins, a lot of people are saying those two teams are frauds. Are the Lions frauds, Brady Hannon?
I wish I could say yes. I think they just had a bad game. I mean, the Lions have played so well all year, and then they had one crumbling performance to Lamar throwing for 400 yards. So I don't think I think it's kind of premature to say the Lions are frauds. I don't think they're frauds. They might not be a Super Bowl contender like we might have thought, like best team in the NFC, whatever. But they're not total frauds, I don't think we can say.
I agree with you there. I wish I could disagree and argue with you, but I also think
Fair.
I think the Lions still are like a Super Bowl contender.
Really?
I do.
I don't know. I don't think Jared Goff's a Super Bowl quarterback. I really don't. Because what quarterback?
He made it to a Super Bowl.
And then he got outplayed and he couldn't score.
He did, but you can't say he's
when
not
Jared
a Super Bowl
Goff goes against Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Joe Burrow, Lamar, whoever he faces in that Super Bowl, he's going to get outplayed. And there is no question about it. And that's why.
You didn't say Super Bowl winning quarterback. You said he's not a Super Bowl quarterback, and he has played in a Super Bowl. He can make it through the playoffs and make it to the Super Bowl. In the NFC, I think right now, if you look at the NFC,
the NFC is pretty bad outside the Eagles.
If you look at the NFC of who could stop the Eagles, who did they lose to? They lost the game to the Jets.
Oh yeah, they did lose to the Jets.
If you look,
they lost to the Jets with Jalen Hurts throwing 3 fourth quarter interceptions. Like
yeah.
That's not realistic. That's not going to happen on a regular basis. And they lost that game by 6.
Well, if you look at who could beat the Eagles, I think the Niners could. I think
the Niners could beat the Eagles. I think
the Lions,
the Commanders and Cowboys could beat them. The Lions could beat them. I think the Vikings can beat them.
Well, we've seen the Lions already beat Mahomes. They've had a whole offseason
they beat Mahomes, and Mahomes' receivers cannot catch for their life, and they beat them by 1. I don't really.
Oh, that's also well, they still beat them. They still beat them.
Yes, they won the game.
I think the Lions are absolutely a Super Bowl contender still. I know they got killed this game, but they were straight up outplayed and outcoached. And I saw a statistic that the Ravens.
So when you're outplayed and outcoached that badly, you're usually not a Super Bowl team.
Not necessarily.
I mean, you don't see the Chiefs.
There's a lot of teams that'll have a big bad game in the season, but the Ravens ran. The Ravens opening drive. They go down 7 plays and score. 5 of those plays were different personnels. Now, there's a lot of teams that aren't doing this, and the Lions have feasted on them. Lions are gonna. I think the Lions are gonna keep getting better as the year goes on. I don't think that they've reached their ceiling in the first 5 weeks.
Of course I really don't. They just need to give the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs for my fantasy team. That's what they really need to do to click.
Yeah, I'd say so. How about the? You think the Bengals are going to catch them? The Browns, Ravens, and Steelers? I mean, you could realistically, I think there could be 4 playoff teams in this division all making it. If the Bills or Jets, if the Bills and Jets both fall out.
Boy, the Jets are, yeah.
If the Bills and Jets both fall out, no one in the other divisions, in my opinion, has a better shot than these teams so far.
That's fair. I mean, I just don't see. The only thing is, I don't see the Browns maintaining this 4-2 record.
Okay,
I just don't, because they should have lost last week to Gardner Minshew and the Colts. They haven't been great with Deshaun Watson. Their schedule's a gauntlet in the AFC. The Bengals are going to keep rolling. I mean, I know they've been slow. The Bengals start slow every year. They're going to pick it up. The Steelers always are the Steelers. They're always good at defense. And the Ravens are fantastic. I just don't see the Browns keeping up this wild card spot. So I think the Bengals overtake the Browns. I think that's 3 playoff teams right there, 2 of the wild card. And I think the last wild card goes to the Bills, to be honest. Maybe the Dolphins, one of those teams. I just don't know who else is going to pull away. I don't think the Jets win enough games, especially with Zach Wilson right now. They're just not as dynamic enough.
I still think the Jets could make it.
Definitely. I think they can. I mean, I don't know who else. I think the Texans have been good. People discredit the Texans as terrible. Texans have been playing well. I think the Texans have a shot, maybe.
Well, the Texans.
The
I
whole
don't
AFC
think the
West outside of
Texans have what
Chiefs
it
is
takes.
garbage.
I don't think Houston's got what it takes to beat the good teams yet. Personally,
Fair.
like the
I mean,
real good teams.
The whole AFC West is in, except for the Chiefs, is in significant negative point differential.
Hey, well, there's a big game this Sunday night between two juggernauts.
Two
obviously.
juggernauts. It's not juggernauts. It's one disappointing. It's two very disappointing teams.
Yeah, that was
It's gotta be aggravating to be a Chargers fan. Like they have a Super Bowl roster and they just don't win because Brandon Staley does not know what he's doing.
Oh, I have a Chargers fan friend, which I know, like, impossible, right?
I didn't know they existed. I thought they were like in there.
And he's just constantly disappointed week after week. I feel
I mean,
bad
we're
for him,
Bears
but
fans, so it's tough for us too.
I won't feel bad for him after this week when the Bajancy reopens, you know.
The agency reopens.
When
Watch
the Bajancy
Tyson Bagent be like really good. That'd be so funny. That'd be so Bears.
He's Caleb Williams.
They've drafted so many high quarterbacks, and then they're gonna miss out on Caleb Williams because Tyson Bagent is a dog. That'd be so Bears.
Well, let's talk about some. So obviously this week didn't really go how expected, and I heard something about how one of the odds makers in Vegas was like, "Oh, best week ever! Like we won so much." Because
Yeah,
I'm
it's all
pretty
the
sure.
upsets.
I'm pretty sure anyone who is over a 3-point favorite or something didn't win or something of that nature.
That's crazy. Yeah,
It was ridiculous. We got
that's crazy.
4
let's
1
go.
and 5 teams that won. The Bears being one of them.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, the Patriots beat the Bills. That nobody expected that. The Bears with Tyson Bagent blew out the Raiders. The
Mhm.
Giants won. Nobody expected that. The Lions-Ravens game, nobody expected that to turn out how it did.
And then the Broncos also
I mean-
won again.
Yeah, well, it's the Packers. It's Jordan Love season. What did you expect?
Okay, well,
The Vikings beat the Niners. There's just a lot of upsets.
there were Jordan
The Chiefs beat
Addison.
the Chargers, which happens every year, by the way. But
Jordan
all the other
Addison
stuff
popped
surprising.
off.
what?
Jordan Addison popped off.
Hear that crazy play?
Yeah.
It gave me shades of the Stephon Diggs play.
Oh, the
It was
miracle.
it was 10 seconds left in the half. Yeah.
I might simmer down there a little bit.
No, I just mean I don't mean like the exact type of situation, but the type of play where it's just like he took it from the defender and there was just everything else collapsed. Like it was
no,
worst case scenario for the defense, and it just the Red Sea
see.
opened with no time left.
I see what you're saying. How about let's talk about this Patriots Bills.
Yeah, that's what I was
ordeal a
about to
little bit.
say. That game is I cannot believe the Patriots won this game.
Bill Belichick,
Bill-
he needed win number 300 eventually, right?
He got it eventually.
Well, I was looking at Next Gen today. Josh Allen, this is kind of a stat that's a little eye-opening, at least I would say.
Yeah.
Every quick pass, whatever they designate as quick passes, Josh Allen was 17 of 17 with 135 yards and 2 touchdowns. In
Hello?
plays where
Jules, you're glitching out.
I'm glitching. I'm back now, right?
Yeah, you're good. Say it again.
Okay. So what is this? Okay. So the Patriots made him have his longest average to throw time of the season at 3.26 seconds. I just read off the stat for his quick passes, 17 to 17, 135 yards, 2 touchdowns. When he had to hold onto the ball more than 2.5 seconds, Josh Allen was 10 of 24 with 130 yards and a pick. And that's how the Patriots won the game.
Yeah, because what Josh Allen does is he likes to play off script. But when he plays off script, he throws so many interceptions, so many risky balls. Because his arm is ridiculous. So he thinks he tries to fit in these windows that he should not be doing it.
You think, okay, here's a crazy statement.
Yeah.
Is Josh Allen getting out of his prime?
I mean, I don't think he's out of his prime. I think that I think he peaked with Dable, and this is who he is without that top tier coaching.
Oh, okay.
I just think he's a little turnover. He's a little wild. I think Dable brought him in a little, and Dable brought out all the best things of Josh Allen while masking the worst things. And I still think he's a top tier quarterback. I think he's fantastic. But when he was in that conversation for second best quarterback, I don't think he's there anymore. I think he's a top 6 quarterback, but I don't think he's a top 3, like people were saying before.
But then
I think this is where he's going to stay. I don't think he's on a decline. I don't think he's still in his athletic prime. He can still throw the ball 300 miles an hour.
But then again, you look at Dable, he had coach of the year, and now suddenly his Giants are completely just a trash.
Yeah, but everyone knew that Daniel Jones. Yeah, but everyone knew that Daniel Jones sucked. I don't. Brian Dable was a fantastic thing for Josh Allen, and he brought out the best in him. And now that he's gone, I just think some of Josh Allen's worst habits, which we saw in college, we saw his first few years, they're coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's messing, and all the brilliance is messing with the mistakes, and that's why we see this wild version of Josh Allen that I think is here to stay.
And I'm thinking the Bills Super Bowl window is closed already.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because I just don't think that they can win 4 straight playoff games. I don't care how talented they are. I know
But
they
what if
have
they
a lot
get hot?
of
If the Bills get hot, nobody's going to beat the Bills.
I disagree.
Why?
I don't think they can get hot for 4 straight games. I just don't think that the Bills are going to be able to do that. I do not think that Josh Allen can go 4 straight games without turning it over enough times to ruin it for them. Or they also, another stat I saw, I don't have it written down, but they had like one of the worst over the middle of the field, like allowing completions. With Matt Milano gone, there's no one in the middle. And with Tre'Davious White gone, they have no one-on-one matchup on the outside that they can consistently win.
That's fair.
And Von Miller is getting older. Ed Oliver is a stud, but he keeps getting hurt too. And Sean McDonough, I think that's his name.
Sean McDermott?
Dick McDermott. Yeah, McDonough's the ESPN.
That was a McDumb comment.
Close enough. McDermott. He hasn't been out coaching anyone.
No, he really hasn't. Every time they play the Dolphins, every time they just lose.
No, they just beat the Dolphins. So
Oh shoot. Every other time I feel like last year when they played the Dolphins, like you remember that playoff game with Skylar Thompson and the Dolphins almost won?
Yeah.
Like he's just not. It feels like Mike McDaniels doesn't have that second gear that Andy Reid, Nick Sirianni, all those top coaches have just to outsmart you. Kyle Shanahan.
Putting Nick Sirianni in there is a stretch. I mean, he's
Sirianni's
had one good
fantastic.
season.
What's wrong with Nick Sirianni?
What
The
is
Eagles are fantastic.
Nick Sirianni besides the tush push?
I don't know. I just know that Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate every year and that their offense just destroys everyone.
Well, that's just because Hurts is a good quarterback. I don't know what else to say.
No, it's because he's a good coach. You're forgetting Jalen Hurts got benched at Bama for Tua. Jalen Hurts was not always the greatest quarterback ever.
Well, there were circumstances, but how about some people who are struggling real quick? We talked briefly about we talked more about the Steelers, but the Rams, like Matthew Stafford has not been winning their games when they need him to win the games. Like he's had quite a few passing yards and like they're moving the ball, but they've been a big field goal team this season. They can't put it in the red zone. I still think they're a good team, but every time that I've counted on the Rams to win the game, they can't pull it off. Would you say Stafford is, I don't know how to word this.
I mean, I definitely think.
What are your thoughts?
I don't think he's the same person he was the Super Bowl year. I think he's fallen off a bit. I think the Rams have a team that fallen off, and I just don't think they have that gear anymore to finish these games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've lost so many playmakers. The O-line's significantly worse. Running game's worse. And just everything that they would use, because Matt Stafford was he was amazing in the fourth quarter of that Super Bowl year. I don't remember how many comebacks he had. I don't remember. He might have set a record or led the league, something like that. But there was no stopping Matthew Stafford in the fourth quarter. And the Rams just don't have that juice. They don't have that anymore. I don't know if it left when OBJ left or last season when they were just a mess. But the juice that the Rams had 2 years ago is gone, and that's why I don't think they're finishing these games.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with you.
And
but
what do you think about the Packers?
Packers? They
They're
own us.
They keep losing and winning these very, very close games.
They still own us, but they just don't look like a good football team against anyone else.
That's fair.
What you said a few weeks ago on our Thursday night football show about Jordan Love doesn't have the juice. Like, I can't say that I've seen anything lately to prove that statement wrong so far, at least. Like, they have not been. I know they don't have a true top receiver, but I just don't. I don't see that offense really having much firepower. And now you're frozen. So I'll ramble for a minute and look at the comments. Shane Steichen. Okay. Colts, they've been, is what it is. I don't know what's up with Brady's thing. Oh, reconnecting. Okay. Tush push goated. Can't, I hate that play. I hate it so much. Danny Dimes, another definition of mid. He's worse than mid, in my personal opinion. And yeah, I want to talk about the Dolphins real quick. I know Brady is having some connection problem right now. But briefly, let's talk about the Dolphins. I am not concerned after Sunday night's game. They lost Teron Armstead he didn't get to play. Teron didn't get to play. Jalen Ramsey's coming back. Xavier Howard was out. So they had Eli Apple on AJ Brown. And I don't know what else do you expect from that? They didn't have Waddle for half the game. So that's more injuries. And suddenly, they also got that pass interference no call at like the 5-yard line. Ball didn't lie, so they got pick 6 like 2 plays later. But still, I'm not concerned from that game personally.
We back?
Oh, welcome back. Ish. Okay. Hopefully he'll get his Wi-Fi figured out. Sorry about that. If you have questions, let me know in the comments section because Brady's Wi-Fi is incompetent. Just telling him to refresh it. But I want to talk about some betting lines. Oh, there you are. Okay. Finally. Let's go to This Week in Vegas.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do our so we both went 0-3 last week, and that was a complete and utter disaster. But to be fair, it seems like America also sucked last week when it comes to spreads. So I'm not concerned.
At least we're consistent. We're consistent with the public.
Yeah, of course. So I let you go first last week. I'll go first this week.
How nice of you, Jules. Thank you.
I know. I have the Colts at home -1.5 against the Saints. I don't think the Saints are really that team. And the Colts have had two.
They're not that team. What does that even mean?
I don't think the Saints are like that. I just don't.
They're not like that. Okay.
They're not like that.
Not
the
like
Colts,
that.
meanwhile, I feel like they are bound to win at some point. Gardner Minshew is moving the ball very well down the field. They've been a lot of explosive plays. Josh Downs had a 55-yard touchdown. Pittman had like a 60-some or 70-yard touchdown. They're pushing the ball down the field, and the defense has been playing fairly well. They got EJ Speed. They got the Speed Demon. They got Kenny Moore. They got Forrest Buckner. They've got some ballers. I think the Colts are going to win against the Saints, and I don't really think it'll be. I hope for the Colts fans that it's not another heartbreaker because they should have beaten the Browns. That's my first pick.
That's fair. My first pick, I'm pretty confident in this one. It's the Vikings -1 against the Packers.
Okay.
I don't know why this game is a -1. The Packers have been playing really badly lately. The Vikings have been playing really well lately. Kirk's on a roll. Jordan Addison is on a roll. And the Packers their offense just keeps stalling. And I don't know why it's basically a money line pick. I don't know why it's this close. But I think the Vikings go and they win this game. So Vikings -1.
You know what? I also had the Vikings -1. That was my second pick.
It's not going to hit. It's not going to hit now. Thanks, Jules.
Of course not. Why would it ever hit? You know what? Have we ever picked the same pick and gotten it right? In all these episodes. Last
Honestly,
year
probably not.
And now.
It's happened a lot. It's certainly got a 50-50 shot, but I don't think it has.
Well, I'm sorry, Vikings fans.
Sorry, Vikings.
But yeah, I don't think we've maybe one time. I don't think we've ever.
I'm gonna go bet on the Packers now.
Yeah, so that was my second pick. We had the same one. I'll go with my
Sure.
third pick now.
Well, do you want me to do one?
Actually, yeah, I have two. You
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
go for it?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with. I think okay. This is kind of risky. I think the Lions bounce back. I think -8.5 for Detroit against the Raiders.
Damn
I just saw the Raiders play the Bears, and they looked awful, like just pitiful. I just don't trust. I can't trust the Raiders. I think the Lions win this game. I think they win it by 1 billion points. I don't care if Jimmy G plays or not. It doesn't matter.
What if I told you?
Yeah, you picked
What
the
if I
same one. The
told you
Lions
I
are going to
also had the Lions -8.5 as my final pick. This is also marks the first time ever that we had two of the same three picks.
Really?
So
we do not plan that. Trust me, I do not want to have the same picks. As
yeah,
Joel.
if I were Brady, I wouldn't have this want to have the
pretty
same
brutal.
picks as me either.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
we
with my
don't.
last pick,
What?
with my last pick, this is something I've never done before on this show. Never. So I'm very curious how it's going to turn out.
Okay.
I'm taking the Bears +9 against the Chargers.
Good Lord.
The Bears are playing the 2-4 Chargers, who have not blown anyone out. They let every game stay close against bad teams. They play down to their competition or up to their competition. They just got rolled by the Chiefs. The Bears are on Sunday night off a big win with Tyson Bagent. And I've been so bad. I need a win. I just don't think the Bears get rolled here. I don't think they win, but if they lose 27-20, I don't think that's unrealistic, and that covers the spread. So I'm going to go with the Bears +9.
I'm speechless.
Why are you speechless? The Bears defense has been playing well. The Chargers offense has not. This is likely to be a low-scoring game. I think it stays somewhat close, and 9 points is a lot of points, Jules.
Brady.
This
See,
might be.
the
I think
thing
it's
is,
literally
as
the
a
biggest
Bear
spread.
fan. As a Bear fan, we should know by now.
I do
If
know
you
this is the
think
biggest
the
spread of the
Bears
week.
have-
And the Chargers, Jules, this is the biggest spread of the week. The Chargers are 2-4, and they're 9-point favorites. Just think about that. That doesn't make sense. Unless they
Yes.
know something we don't. The Bears should cover the. They're not going to now because I bet on the Bears, but they should. Hypothetically, they should cover the spread.
But Brady, as a
Jules.
lifelong Bears fan, we should know by now. If you think the Bears have a shot, they don't.
I know. However, if they get rolled and they just have a better draft pick, that's also okay. I mean, I'm at that point where it's like whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, we just have to root for Carolina to keep losing, and then
as long as Carolina keeps losing, there's other things I gotta worry about. Right?
As long as the Panthers keep losing,
Panthers
games,
keep losing. The Bears are
we're feeling good.
I was gonna say they're entertaining. Now they're just boring and bad, but oh well.
Hey, maybe the Bajancy will be entertaining. You know, you never know.
Is that what we're calling it? The Bajancy?
Well, the Bajancy is open. That's all I've got to say.
The Bajancy is always open.
I think one of my friends
That's
called him
awesome.
Agent Bajent.
Agent Bajent's good.
There's all kinds of stuff. We needed something new. Tyson is like a chicken brand. Maybe there's some kind of like he'll fly it. He'll open his wings.
We don't need. I think Agent Bajent's
SoFi
good.
Stadium.
What's wrong? I like Agent Bajent. I think it's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I
that's
like
what
Agent
we'll roll
Bajent.
with.
Yeah,
and that's how we're
roll
gonna
with Agent Bajent.
finish today's show. Thank you all for watching. We had a little
Thank you
quicker
everyone for
episode.
watching.
Happy Halloween. This is our little spooky special instead of taking 2 weeks in between episodes.
Yeah.
So we'll be back on,
scary
I
things
believe,
about it.
November 7th
Yeah.
into the latter half of the NFL season.
Yeah. We will see you all then. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for Culvers, and see you later.